德麦西亚视频站。视频背景音乐、选手主播天赋符文、隐藏分查询就在最强王者组，还等什么？赶快扫描二维码关注我们微信吧。
Playing, around more than just 1.5 lanes, Copenhagen Wolves struggled. Giants have the highest seed. They've picked side choice in games 1, 3, and 5. They've gone blue, and red, so we'll see these teams bouncing a little bit. And as we get into picks and meds, Twisted Fate and Azir off the table.
Yeah, straight away Kadrill's favourite pick, and also a pick now that Pepe was using very effectively in the last week of the Giants games off the table. Lissandra also taken away. The two champions that Kadrill has had the absolute most effect on are these two right here. And now that we've neutralized a lot of the potential for Kadrill to go to other lanes, I wonder what his next pick is going to be. We know he's played the likes of a Lulu in the playoffs as well. I like this focus from Giants. Just completely pick away at one of the weaker parts of the Copenhagen Wolves when you look at experience. This is really one of the, very few times Kadrill's been on this stage.
And we need to see how Kadrill reacts because his Lissandra was so game-changing in the Challenger finals. Interesting to note, Stress, that is the 13th time Giants have banned Lulu in their last 19 games.
There's only one last champion that Kadrill has played that is open, and it's Corki. Giants could look to take that one away here. They've only played it once from Pepe, and we know that Pepe is very comfortable playing off-meta champion, so they don't go for it. Man, this is a fast set of picks.
It really is. So Nidalee near insta-lock for Giants. It is a Poppy Callista for the Copenhagen Wolves. This will be the 5th time that Pinoy will be running that Callista. No one's surprised by Poppy. It was super high priority last week in LCS as well.
Yeah, very high priority, and also obviously the Callista now as well is as prominent as ever. This is 6.5, not 6.6 that has the Callista nerfs on it, but I like the priority now, getting Smitty J that Nidalee. You cannot let Ku have that. If Nidalee and Poppy were available for Copenhagen Wolves, those were the two champions that they tore apart the favorites in Millennium when they played against them. So I like the denial here from the Nidalee. Now, will it come back to bite them that the Poppy has gone to Wicked? We've talked about it so much. I'm looking at what else is available. Does Smitty J want to go for something like the Nautilus again?
Trundle would be my first guess.
Obviously, yeah.
And we saw showing up the Trundle into Poppy matchup a lot during the course of even the Challenger finals, if memory serves correctly. 2 seconds, it is going to be locked in. And that Corki, still a flex for Sonstar. He's not played it on the stage with Giants, but you know that he has, or he will have the capabilities to run that if Pepe decides to play something a little different. So where do the Wolves go from here?
Well, Wolves, I guess for here they've got support available. Would they look for something like the Braum or the Alistair here would be the top meta picks. Obviously both synergize fairly well with Callista. Braum good against the likes of Nidalee and Corki, so would be a fairly good pickup for them. It is Nukesalot's most played now as well. 6 games of Braum. It's overtaken his Trundle that he was playing a lot earlier in the split.
Yeah, not going to be a support champion. It's going to be locking in that Braum, so no real surprises. Ku going to default back to a comfort pick in Elise. It's something he's played several times with the Copenhagen Wolves. And this is a very interesting match for me because, of course, Ku played for 2 weeks on the LCS stage under the Giants banner.
Yeah,
and
he did.
Moved to Challenger, so there's even some personal pride here at stake to go up against the team that you joined and then obviously will let go from.
Yeah, not only that, but keep in mind when the Giants let Ku go, in their public statement said that it was for reasons both in and out of the game. So maybe there is a little bit of redemption here on the table for the jungler now for the Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, but Ku cannot go as ham as he did in the finals. Games 1 and 2, he played phenomenal. He played a lot of Lee Sin, had some great picks. But as the series progressed, I think he was over-eager. Might be a fair way to describe the play. We'll see how he handles himself. To round out the Giants' composition, it is Lucian for Sonstar and Alistair for Hustlin.
Yeah, I actually quite like this setup for the Giants here. I think that this is very reminiscent of what we were seeing out of them when they were winning games. The only real difference now is it's not the Azir that we saw in the game against Roccat. So obviously Giants only have a small pool of games to look at from when they won. There's not too much really to take away, but I'm interested to see now how Wisdom can do on this Nidalee. Now, okay, Kadrill is showing us a new champion for him. It's not new in the middle lane. And the Quinn into Corki matchup, we've seen go very heavily in the Quinn's favor in the laning phase in Challenger. In the semi-finals, it was Godbro and CosQ that were just going back and forth on this matchup. taking the lead for the Quinn. So now Kadril wants to take that for himself, but this is a very different style to what Kadril normally plays. Normally it's teleport into another lane, get the other lanes fed. Now he's going to have to go there in the ultimate form and try and somehow keep up in the 1v1 matchup if they want to play the same style for the Wolves. This is a big shift.
And we have to see if Kadril can pull this one off for the Copenhagen Wolves. This is do or die. Win this series and you have one more best of 5 before you can qualify for the LCS. If you lose today, that's it. Dunzo, as far as the Giants or the Copenhagen Wolves are concerned. Both teams on stage as we're getting ready for this.
Yeah, of course, it will put them in Challenger if they lose here, so they will have a spot for Spring, but obviously you want to be in the LCS for Summer.
That's what everybody's playing for in the promotion tournament. It is time to find out if Giants can protect their LCS spot or if there'll be new blood in the Summer split.
I don't know how prepared we will be because it's only 1 week and I haven't been with the team very long.
My goal was always like to try to qualify for LCS with like my own team.
The whole roster hasn't been together very long. I hope to be as prepared as we can.
I would like do everything to make that goal and I won't stop, you know.
I'm very confident we can beat the Copenhagen Wolves.
It means everything and we just like need to step it up.
You heard it best from Pinoy. It means everything, and it means we have to step it up. We're in game 1 of this potential 5-game series. Our Giants, who placed 10th in the LCS, play Copenhagen Wolves, who placed 2nd.
And this is now really the measuring stick of where the challenger teams are. Because we always have this, when we come into promotion tournament, everyone's always hyping up the challenger teams, looking at the bad performance from the LCS teams at the bottom and saying, well, look, obviously they're going to win. You know, Giants have only won a very few number of games. They only won 3 games in the split. So how are they ever going to, you know, lose to the Copenhagen Wolves? How are they going to beat the Copenhagen Wolves? Honestly, at this point, the Wolves have had their issues as well, on a macro level and on a micro level. When it's come to individual plays, there's still been issues. So now we get to see, how does this measure up? Is one team actually that much better than the other?
Yeah, and it's actually still, it's just such a mind-boggling storyline for me. Because throughout all of Challenger this spring, it was meant to be Millennium and Inspire. Those are the 2 teams that were hailed, but they, you know, stumbled when the hurdles got bigger. And Copenhagen Wolves, with their substitutions, with getting Coup, found an extra gear that they had not demonstrated or found, you know, that rhythm during the course of the regular split.
And that's always the thing, right? Is if you don't turn up on the day, then you can be as good in scrims, in practice as you want, even in the regular season. If you don't turn up and don't get the wins, then you're obviously never going to make it there. I mean, you even look at another team in the Challenger, in the promotion tournament in Roccat. They took 2 wins off Vitality. You never would have predicted that, but they showed up in those games.
They did.
And did very well. So there's always surprises. Now, Wisdom is looking for a surprise of his own. Lays down the trap. Doesn't get hit by that small minion, but was kind of waiting for Coup. Coup has no idea he's here. Smite available for Wisdom, not for Coup.
It's the Smite fight. Wisdom gets the buff, pounces forward onto Coup. Coup with a defensive flash. Wisdom's looking for more. 1 or 2 autos, but the buff and the flash advantage Giants.
This is very similar to what we saw Coup doing to Joko in their series, where it was just constantly invade from the off. Wisdom actually went over to that red buff before even taking his blue buff. He went Gromp and then red. Like, that is one of the strongest like plays that early that you can do. Just going, well, I know he's starting red, so I'm gonna go there.
And I think that's a big deal for a player who has the ability to be put on tilt. You know, we've seen Coup have fantastic game-changing performances, both for better and for worse. And we've already alluded to the fact that, you know, Coup has some experience with the Giants squads, having played with him on the LCS stage.
And he was potentially looking to be a little bit desperate there. There were pings on middle lane to look like Coup perhaps was coming there. He actually chooses to invade on the bottom side. He doesn't want to commit straight away onto the red, because he doesn't have the full information of where Wisdom is, so he can't afford to go all the way onto the buff straight away. So he just takes one of the smaller camps, puts down a ward, and is going to try and track Wisdom through the jungle here, who is fairly low. But now Corki was pushing up. Pepe was pushing in mid lane. Cou's here.
The cocoon goes wide though. Pepe has a blinding assault land on his face and truthfully just walks away. And Stress, we've got standard lanes here. Smitty J and Wicked going toe-to-toe up top in that tank battle. Cou's going to swing back around for a red buff invade, and Kadril doing pretty good. All their thoughts, about to take a big chunk. The Lord's back and forth. And now the shoe is on the other foot. Ku says, I'll have this Bramble back if I get the chance.
Both have Smite. Wisdom has a feeling that something's up. Now Ku shows himself. This red buff has actually run out of patience, so we'll reset. Ku probably shouldn't stick around, but top lane.
Very good pillar coming down from Smitty J. Ends up trading relatively well, but both top laners down to 300 wisdom. Ooh, tags Ku
Under
the
the
javelin
wing.
toss. I think he face planted the pounce though.
Yeah.
So Ku manages to make it out alive. Still technically has been 3 buffed. And Kadril, this bully pick is working in his favor.
And the reason that just worked in his favor, something we didn't pick up on as we came out of Champion Select, a very last-minute change-up for Kadril. He was hovering the exhaust. He's changed to teleports, and that's how he's going to impact the map in the way he normally would be. Rather than going for his lane, he's choosing to get into other lanes. He actually used that TP to get back to lane after buying Cull. It meant he was full health, could just run at Peppy, and knew that he could avoid the Phosphorus Bomb by vaulting. So Kadril seemingly playing this matchup pretty smart to begin with, utilizing the teleport, but how will that now impact how he can continue this lane? Because without a combat summoner here, it means Peppy, if Kadril ever tries to all in him, he just exhausts him and walks in like Valkyries away.
Yeah, I want to see how Giants make use of double exhaust as well, considering Kadril, Quinn, and Kalista, both prime targets the later this game goes. We're going to see Sunstar and Hustler. We've not actually looked at the duo lane. They're actually down 10 CS to that of Pinoy and Nuxalot. That's a bit of a testament here to Pinoy and Nuxalot farming their way up. The wave is pushing towards Sunstars though, so a little bit of risk involved in pushing further.
Yeah, there's a couple extra, or we're a couple extra in the wave here for Giants as it's pushing towards him. Also, Nuxalot was looking to zone fairly heavily. He actually crossed up into Tribush once or twice to try and come across for Ku. So there has been a fair amount of pressure on Sunstar and Hustlin to force them back from the wave at least. They were trying to just offset some of Wisdom's ability to push into the lower jungle, and ultimately he doesn't want to go too aggressive. So this bottom lane right now is in favor, as you said, of Pinoy and Nuxalot. I'm excited to see what Pinoy can do on Kalista. We've seen a fair amount from him on this champion, so you know it's a good bottom lane to be watching now, because it's kind of that test now to see where Sunstar and Pinoy are really at.
Yeah, I like seeing the head-to-head lanes, especially in the first game of a series. So you've got all of this time to reference their decision making. Smitty J is continuously shoving Wicked in, but it's not impacting Wicked's farm at all.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more standard lanes in these promotion tournament matchups. Generally, both the bottom of the table LCS teams and challenger teams are not crisp at lane swaps. Generally, they're not the same level that we see from G2, you know, the likes of Vitality, H2K, where everything is clean and well-timed. It's a little bit rough around the edges, teleports used in different places, people going to different areas of the map where you wouldn't expect it. So for viewers that may be like, oh, well, we've seen lane swaps in every game, it's just a very difficult thing to actually coordinate at a high level.
Yeah, and especially when you talk about those teleports. Those are something I'm going to be watching incredibly closely. For all players, because Smitty J's got very limited LCS experience joining the Giants squad really late. Hustlin as well, 2 games only with the team on stage, and he had one that was difficult and one matchup against Rocket that was actually significantly better. So,
well, the funny thing about Smitty J is, for as difficult as his position has seemed, I've actually quite liked watching his play. More so than I actually did when watching the Team Dignitas North America team that he was on for a while. I feel like he's had a little bit more individual success when watching him. Just a couple more little plays, outplays, that sort of thing. So he's certainly a player to keep an eye on.
yeah.
Because given the freedom, especially in these kind of matchups where maybe he won't get pressured as much, he could actually have a big impact and look to carry a game.
Well, on that Trundle into Poppy, that's a matchup that Giants will be actually leaning on, I think, quite heavily the longer the game goes, especially because of the fact that Trundle was the pick that allowed Huma and Werlib to take down Copenhagen Wolves. I think it was 3 Trundle games back-to-back, if I remember correctly, for Huma, and they played this
here comes Wisdom.
Javelin toss down. This is most likely going to be first blood. Peppy and Wisdom make that so easy.
That looked far too easy. And again, Wisdom Pinkwood on the other side. They knew where Ku was. Kadril was low under tower. Not that a combat summoner would have helped him in this situation. Maybe an exhaust would have prolonged his life, but it wouldn't have been enough.
Prolonged his life. I like that.
All I'm saying is maybe he would have got a couple more autos up.
He would have died slower.
Oh, he can't quite teleport back to lane either. Oh, this is the worst timeline track. It's okay. He's got mobility scooter Valor right now, where because he doesn't have boots, it's actually super slow. If we ever get a shot at that, that always is funny when you see a Quinn with like rank 1 ult, no boots.
I don't think we should start the observers looking at that.
That's
The last time you and Pulse did, there was bird wing flap cam. Whether or not Quinn flaps, depending
we have
on
some
her
fun
move
on
speed.
Challenger.
Oh, we all do, watching, but not quite sure I want to see it again. The debate was one and done for me. Well, regardless, Cadril gets pounced on. Giants have got themselves a 1,000 gold lead. The advantages that Giants have been able to pick up has been because of Wisdom. He had a good early red buff invade. He slowed Ku down a little, not a major surprise, in terms of the Nidalee Elise match.
Yep.
And then Wisdom with a very good swing around, gank from inside the Wolves jungle.
And this has been a lot of the discussion that people have had about, you know, Giants, Copenhagen Wolves, who's going to win this? Are the Giants strong enough on a team level? And I think for the most part, a lot of people agree that Giants players individually, in most of the positions, Wisdom, Peppy, Sunstar, even Smitty J to some extent, are likely individually better. And is that enough? Well, we're going to find out whether team play is going to come into effect. Here comes Ku.
Yeah, Ku, 2-on-1. Smitty J's got 200 HP, flashes forward. Ku holds on to it for late, decides to go for the dive. Flash is available, pounce forward. Last auto attack goes to the shield. It sends him home with a buckler.
Captain America in that play with the buckler throw. It's not quite the civil war in this top lane as Ku came in, but you know, it wasn't the cleanest, but at the same time, Ku gets out with his life. It was a 1-for-0 trade, and that will be the end of Smitty J for now. Looking to see how that's going to kind of tilt this game or affect it one way or the other. Wicked's already finished that Sunfire Cape on the other side. Smitty J well on the way to a Titanic Hydra.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised there. First dragon of the game looks like it'll go the way of Giants. There's no one around to contest, so completely out of vision. Hasn't even hopped over the walls. It doesn't bounce too far forward. That Scuttle Crab won't impact her. Trinity Force being farmed towards for Peppy. Hex Drinker completed for Cadril. So that's an advantage when going up against Wisdom. And Peppy's given him some trouble already.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of magic damage being focused into this middle lane. And I mean, we talked about how typically Quinn has done fairly well into Corki. Obviously, there's been a lot of pressure from Wisdom. He's been mid lane about 3 times already, at least around the lane. And it seems like a lot of people agree with the general sentiment about Giants that could come out of this.
Yeah, seems to be the case so far, but if Smitty J gets ganked again, it's a 2-on-1. Look for the cocoon. The volatile spiraling goes up. Smitty J does not try juke, but it does not matter. It was simply too much damage. And it was a prediction cocoon.
All I'm saying is coos. Not the best. Not the best.
You're gonna make me hungry.
At that point. Coos.
Yeah.
Not the best in this series. So far, I mean, they've been... I'm not even going to make excuses. He's just missed 2. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll see if he does.
Well, Copenhagen Wolves strike back. They started to fall behind. And Ku finds 2 repeated ganks onto Smitty J.
But then, without falling into old rhetoric, Ku in promotion games is not known for winning.
No, definitely not the case.
And, I mean, he's had a lot better performances recently, even on stage. But,
Look, I was a big question mark. In the pregame for the Challenger Finals, I was like, I've seen Ku on multiple lineups, attempt multiple times to get into the LCS, and it's a guy who is incredibly talented, but incredibly inconsistent in those performances. Yeah. And I think even during the Challenger Finals, games 1 and 2, he had a phenomenal number of outplays. But then as the series progressed and the mental drain and the pressure of playing against Huma, then Ku started to overstep. So that's what I want to look for. Here's a good bounce back after Ku was struggling early. He's got 2 very good kills. Now let's see what he does with the next 15 minutes of gameplay.
At the same time, though, Wisdom has completely changed his emphasis to just fun. Wisdom's level 10, Ku is just level 9. He only just hit that as Wisdom was invading on his red. So now, how is Wisdom going to utilize this? Because Wisdom is basically just playing PvE.
Yeah.
He's interacting. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he's not interacting with anything. He had a good lead from the beginning and is just like, okay, well, I've got this. I'm just gonna keep, raiding. Gonna get them epic drops.
Yep.
He got the purple.
He did get the purple. Mini raid boss down at 14 or so minutes.
When Baron spawns, so that you're like running it on heroic or 40 man.
I wouldn't know. I never did the MMO thing. No.
Oh, man.
I didn't have the patience for it. All right, Smitty J is going to spot. Oh, did he actually spot Q? I think he did. So Smitty J is going to back away. Down 10 CS despite 2 kills. Teleports are available for all 3 members that have it. But look at the item differences here. Trinity Force completed. Almost the Essence Weaver for Sunstar. The Giants are still looking to come online as far as their itemization is concerned.
Yeah, you mentioned itemization. Titanic Hydra nearly completed. I believe he's got the gold for it just in his inventory, but doesn't want to back. He'll give away too much to Wicked without forcing his wave out. So we may see Wisdom head top lane and give him that room. Either that or Smitty J will have to use his TP.
Max range on the Javelin toss. Wisdom has pounced forward for this. It's a double blinding assault and nobody can find Kadril. Now Ku. Oh, he just gets crushed under the earth boot. 2-on-1. Thought he had more damage than he actually did.
Giants with a very confident set of dives under the tower. You can even see, look at Pepe's player camera. That was the first time really in-game we've seen Pepe, as happy as that we've maybe seen all split. Reminiscent to how Pepe has just been fairly sad. Those shots with him around Adri spring to mind. Now Pepe's like in this game feeling it completely. He's ahead 2-0 up.
And he's nearly 30 CS up over Kadril in a matchup that we've already seen the Quinn dominate Corki cross-player impact. I want to see who actually gets exhausted, because I didn't quite grasp that. It was Kadril immediately. And a good blinding assault.
Wisdom hits like, I'm just going to throw it, and if it hits, it's going to be great. And then realizes there's a spider in front of his face. Suddenly, Gatling guns are apparently very good for taking out spiders. I wouldn't recommend it if you have a Gatling gun at home.
It wastes ammo, actually, I think. Wicked's gone forward that steadfast presence. There's no flash away from Smitty yet until he does. The hammer, the verdict is good. And Smitty J is down. Another good 2-on-1. And the roam from Kadril after being killed himself.
Yeah, this time the roam plays out. Copenhagen Wolves have really focused on Smitty J in this top lane. The problem is it's giving a lot of freedom over to Pepe. And I wonder how much this is actually going to turn this game in the Wolves' favor, because the Wolves can obviously use Poppy in one side lane, Quinn in the other, and utilize any kind of 1-3-1 setup that they want to do here. Problem is, if Pepe is too strong, him and Sunstar just stand in front of a turret, and the rest of everybody else on the team will die around with the turret as well.
On the condition they can kill Wicked, or deal with Wicked, because Wicked 2-0, getting closer to the Iceborne Gauntlet. When you look at Giants, yes, they have some tanky-ish members in Trundle and Alistair. There's no tank items for Smitty J yet.
Yeah.
He's relying on stealing stats. So that front line for Giants could go down very quickly once Kadril decides to complete an item. He's currently got the makings of pieces. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Ghostblade first, I imagine.
First. And you're mentioning that Sheen going into Iceborne Gauntlet, of course, Sunfire Iceborne Gauntlet. Super common build, seen everywhere. Europe, Korea, NA, you see it everywhere these days. So
pretty common.
Pretty much every, apart from this Titanic Hydra here from Smitty J, like every game you'll have one top laner that builds it. So not too surprised. Would like to see a little bit of variance there. Maybe when we see the Maokai come through, that Korea's been playing a lot, start getting Spirit Visage,
Please
other things.
No. Like Maokai,
you don't like it?
I just find him so linear to watch.
Oh yeah, sure, but it's great when you have like a run at people come.
Because the difference between Malphite versus Maokai versus Malphite.
Yeah.
A Malphite's a sim that's super linear, super easy to understand, but when he hits it with ultimate, it's super exciting.
I have a better reason though why we need to see more Maokai.
When Maokai points and clicks somebody, I just don't find that exciting. But this is not play-by-play talking, right?
Well, yeah, but you're going to end up seeing some funnier stuff with Maokai when we get Meowkai. Because the amount of puns I know you're going to come up with when a Meowkai goes on an Azir about like a cat and a bird. There's just too many animals in me.
I plan to channel my inner Super Troopers the moment I see that skin. You hear me now, Mao? Copenhagen Wolves will not be able to challenge for this Dragon down bottom. Look at the vision Giants secure number 2. So damage over time onto the towers is very, very good. Defensive flash from Pinoy. And Nuxalock stands behind Pinoy. Tower will now be under pressure. And before 20 minutes, Aspect is a very real threat already, considering the 3,000 gold and the fact that there's so much vision in this bottom half of the map.
So much vision, and a lot of it is just like, look at the amount of gold that Wisdom's had. He has been able, he's power farming, if anything. Even going blue trinket. Like, when was the last time we saw a jungler go blue trinket? He's like, well, you guys are going to put some wards down and we'll catch them with the pink wards that we're able to buy. I'm just going to go blue trinkets. We got 4 of them and just take your entire jungle. Wisdom is just being able to spend money on whatever he wants right now. So, I'm not too surprised to see that after how this game started.
No. Approaching 20 minutes on the clock. Wisdom is already at 120. I've asked our stats spender to find out what the highest farm was at 20 minutes, because I think that is a very, very good chance.
For a jungler, you mean?
For a jungler.
Okay.
For a jungler. I just want to specify.
Otherwise, it's going to be ranked like somewhere 50th, and it's not.
Just for junglers. Pepe's looking to 1v1 Kadril. Will find some support from Wisdom. Javelin toss does not find a target. Pepe flashes forward, but the rocket didn't reach, because Kadril was able to defensively flash, but this will open up even more of the map, and Giants clearly in the lead by 3,000 gold.
Yeah, Kadril got his wiggle on to survive there. Keeps Copenhagen Wolves in a kill lead, but that's about it right now. Everything else is in favor of the Giants. So much of it stems from that early game from Wisdom. The ability to shove Ku off and then kind of defend against a lot of what he had to offer has really played a big part in this, and the way that it then influenced Pepe into killing Kadril.
All right, now Giants are in somewhat of a predicament. Sonstar and Hustlin are being dove. Teleport is coming in, but Hustlin's already bought time. Fate's call is channeled to pull Sir Noobsalot back, and the Copenhagen Wolves are in full retreat. Ku's Cocoon goes wide, does not find anybody, and a defensive dash back as Wicked finalized his teleport. Ku falls short. 3 members of the Wolves are down, and Giants turn their attention to the top outer turret.
Well, they're actually turning their attention to the Baron, if you'll take a look at it. They're running down. This is a super early Baron. This is in line with some of the fastest we've had. Fnatic, I believe, had the fastest one at about just after Baron spawned in the regular split. So, honestly, Giants look in command and control. There's really not a whole lot to add. I mean, as soon as the skirmishes started turning their way, you look at this composition that they've got. They've got an Alistair, they've got the Corki, Illusion, all of these champions with the Nidalee alongside. Very good at these earlier skirmishes. Look at how far away that TP is from Wicked. It's the only place he can go, but by this point, Wisdom coming in from the side, fight's already done. Ku and Wicked in this fight far too late, and from there, you know, the Wolves are just kind of lost in this fight. They cannot really do anything.
You have to question where the teleport was. And there was never a feeling that, hey, Giants could just turn around. The speed at which Pepe and Wisdom collapsed completely changed the flow of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, you have to question it, but at the same time, there were no better wards for him. The minions weren't pushed up either to it. And at that point, it's just like Wicked saying, well, I have to TP in, otherwise you lose this anyway. So damned if you do, damned if you don't at that point.
And right now, Copenhagen Wolves are somewhat damned. Down 8,000 gold, down a Baron. 5 kills to 3. I have an update. Our stats bender has worked his magic.
Okay.
So, in actual fact, Wisdom scoring 122 CS by 20 minutes in the jungle is the second highest.
Okay.
One other jungler has beaten that record. It's Joko, 126 with Rek'Sai. Go figure. Now that we've had our numbers aside, Wisdom is in trouble, is going to get dropped off an over-aggressive dive. Sir Nuxalock jumps in to save Wicked's life. Stumbled in for a second as the Copenhagen Wolves peel away from the tower. Mid-inner is dropping. Bottom inner is dropping. Giants are making a phenomenal Baron power play.
I mean, it's a great Baron power play because there's a lot still to take. It's so early on in this game. Giants only had a handful of turrets before, and all of the easy turrets are just going to collapse in front of them. Hustlin just walks behind the tower now. He's just like, well, Wicked and Pinoy here, but I think we can fight.
Another great knock-up. Hustlin catches Wicked as well as Pinoy. It allows some additional time to chunk down that inner turret. Plus 4,300 gold. More than Copenhagen Wolves is what Giants have accrued during the course of their power play, and there's still a minute to go.
I'm quite surprised that Joko has the highest. On Rek'Sai as well. Like, it's impressive.
Tells you a lot about the tempo of the game.
Also, kind of is this weird triangle, because Ku crushed Joko, Now Wisdom's crushing Ku. Now we need like Joko to crush Wisdom, which I guess he's already got the lead on the CS, so maybe that counts.
Yeah,
Some
I think
weird.
So. I mean, I think the fact
triangle.
Yeah. I don't really know how that triangle would work. You'd have to break some rules, which wouldn't be cool, I think. But yeah, still farming up a Storm. Rod of Ages completed, Abyssal Scepter, Runic Echoes. Like, Wisdom is a terrifying... He's a higher level than all of Copenhagen Wolves. Just for reference, right?
He's also
15 and
tied highest
15.
on his team. He's like... I'm not going to say solo carry because Peppy obviously has had a lot to do with this, but the early game plus Peppy, they've kind of like 2v5.
Yep, I think that's fair.
Smitty J, although he got pressured earlier, didn't fall so far behind that he was irrelevant in this game. Sunstar and Haslin just kind of farmed.
Yep.
A little bit. Got a little bit far behind and
quietly
been okay.
kept themselves relevant.
Yeah.
I think is the best way to mention it.
And so many challenger games go this way. Is that one player is stepping up at that time, and as long as everybody else doesn't fall flat in their face, it tends to be okay.
And this is actually very worrying for the Copenhagen Wolves, because when CW were winning games, they were brute forcing their way through standard lanes.
Yeah.
They were outclassing their opponents individually, because Copenhagen Wolves showed a weakness when it comes to playing the map. Now, Giants have gone standard toe-to-toe. They've given Wicked his most successful champion?
Yeah,
maybe
that's fair.
Maybe that's a fair word.
Yeah, I would say so.
And literally played around it. Said, look, even in standard lanes, we'll take all 3 dragons by 25 minutes, a Baron, I think 1 or 2 Rift Heralds, and come at me, bro.
But at the same time, Giants already had a plan to deal with that. They were like, well, we'll take the Nidalee. We know they're going to take the Poppy. So let's just go Trundle them, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. What are they worried about? It worked for Huma. Copenhagen Wolves are 10,000 gold down. So Nuxalot shield is a little bit the wrong way, my friend. Probably channeled the stand behind me.
He's a turncoat. He's like, stand behind me, guys. I'm winning this game.
6v4, not fair. Well, Giants out. Gonna poke out this tower. Haslin will tank up for a couple of shots. Triumphant Roger pieces out, actually throws a few shots onto Peppy. But all turrets outside of Copenhagen Wolves' base have fallen under the gigantic Giants' pressure. I was going to say gigantic boot, and I was like, that's a bit lame.
Yeah.
I still said it, so it doesn't really help my cause.
Those are the worst when you're like, well, I was going to say this.
So I'm going
to say it anyway. But I want to prelude it with it's not going to be funny. Is that the disappointment is like absorbed by the cushioning effect?
It's basically like a seatbelt. I'm just protecting myself from the impact just a little.
So you don't get whiplash on how unfunny
like it's still gonna suck.
Okay.
It's gonna suck just a little bit less.
Okay.
Very weird analogy.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just caster thing.
I'll piece out of that one. A minute and a half to go until Baron number 2 is available for Giants. I'm going to anticipate some vision being loaded up. 4 blue trinkets, a couple of pink wards in the inventory of Giants. And I've been relatively impressed with the vision. Every time I look down the minimap, the area that Giants are playing around has been warded, maybe over-warded, but that's not really a complaint.
You're placing too many wards, guys.
But regardless, again, look, Baron is coming down, there's vision coming down, so...
Yeah, it should be a fairly straightforward Baron bait here from the Wolves. There are 3 blue trinkets though from Giants. There are 3 trinkets from Wolves to, check that Baron. So there is a little bit more work to be done than normal. Also just heard like Quinn's sound when Valor picks her up in this game. It was weird, but at the same time, have you played with Championship Shyvana and recalled in Dragon form?
I don't think I was good enough to get that skin.
It sounds like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Like there's like blood-curdling scream.
Blood-curdling scream, okay.
It's quite scary.
I wonder how many of our viewers know what the word curdle means. Because it's always a weird saying to me, but regardless.
Sounds like a mix between hurdles and curling, where you like push the thing under and it's got a...
Yeah, I'm going to leave you at that one.
It's fine.
You do you, dude. Needlessly Large Rod and QSS secured for Wisdom, so that'll at least get rid of some of the CC that can get put down. Cocoon onto Haslin. Copenhagen Wolves don't really want to commit for this. Baron has spawned just in the corner of your screen. Teleport is available for Smitty J, but he's not going to opt to use it. In actual fact, he's already left the lane and started to rotate through. If Copenhagen Wolves commit, this could be problematic. Heightened senses from Kadril's Quinn will reveal the pit. And I think there was an attempted knockaway into Smitty J. Look, Smitty had to flash for that. So Subjugate and Flash has been used by the front line of Giants.
Has been used, but Giants right now, all they got to do is reset this. They're looking to go down towards the bottom side of the map. They are somewhat running out now of at least obvious options. Really is just about baiting Baron. They got Wicked's TP in that exchange, so now it's just Kadril and Smitty J that have teleports available. So Smitty J already working on the bottom lane. Kadril is answering it preemptively. Just going to shove that back out. We'll have TP. Also, we'll be able to cross with Valor form at any time pretty quickly. No longer a mobility scooter anymore. Got swiftness boots with alacrity, so it's just turned into like a Ferrari. Look at it go.
A NOS-powered scooter this time around. Sunstar on a full channel of the Kalik.
I don't think that has the right, center of gravity to really work. Okay.
Want to see it. Want to see it happen.
Is that the next Fast and Furious move?
I certainly hope not.
Like
sounds like something
Furious
70. It sounds like something out of Jackass, not that.
Pretty sure they did, yeah.
They may have. They may have. But yeah, decent response from Copenhagen Wolves. They've delayed the Baron.
TP used.
TP has been used. Smitty J is going to be joining the fight. Kadril will complete his recall potentially. Has disappeared off the map. A teleport can come down. Wicked is channeling out the verdict. Will stun Smitty against the wall, and Hustler's buying time against Ku. The steal! Copenhagen Wolves get it. Ku jumps in with the bite and the smite. Now Giants try to turn away for the fight. Xpepe's in trouble. The exhaust has saved his life. 2 members of the Wolves are down. Kadril follows shortly. It's going to be a clean ace. The cost was only Baron. Giants have got 50 seconds across the members of Copenhagen Wolves, and this just might be game.
Oh, the heartbreak of stealing the Baron away. Giants get away with this, and they should be able to end this game. Maybe they should have had Smitty J just pushing the bottom lane and not actually committed to the 50-50. He would have been able to push up. Doesn't matter. They were way too far ahead, and Giants are going to end this first game with a win.
Giants completely deconstruct the Copenhagen Wolves and in 31 minutes pick up a convincing victory.
There's not much more.
There's not much more to say. No.
Convincing victory. I mean, from the beginning, it's like Wisdom decides, well, my buffs are great, but I want his buffs. Goes straight into the top jungle, finds Ku on his red, makes him flash away, steals the red, then denies the real invade that was coming out from Ku. And that honestly set the game up from the first minute.
Yep. Absolutely no doubt. Wisdom opened up